Tánaiste, first of all, can I welcome the high-level meeting between yourself and the enterprise agencies regarding the town of Ballinasloe. And I think it now needs to be followed through with a determined effort by all of the agencies, especially the IDA, to promote the town and what it has to offer. And can I ask you to ensure that a coordinated marketing strategy is now put in place for the unique IDA site in the town, which has a large state-owned land bank and is the only such site in the country with access to water, wastewater, gas and fibre in abundance?
Again, I want to acknowledge the difficulty that the APTAR job losses present for Ballinasloe and the surrounding area, and particularly the individuals and families who have been directly affected this year. I met with the Western Regional Enterprise Steering Committee on Friday, the 11th of December, by video conference. This committee is comprised by representatives of the various agencies, including Enterprise Ireland, IDA Ireland, the local enterprise offices, the local authority chief executives, the Regional Skills Forum Manager, the Western Development Commission, higher and further education institutes in Fáilte, Ireland. The committee implements the Regional Enterprise Plan for the West and also considers new and emerging issues for the region. The meeting focused on one agenda item, and that was maximising enterprise development potential in the West. It was noted that the life sciences sector, ag tech and creative sectors offer particular opportunity for further growth through start-ups, business growth and new investment. IDA, Enterprise Ireland and the local enterprise offices will continue to work with stakeholders in the region to secure sustainable employment opportunities in the West, including, but not exclusively, Ballinasloe. IDA is going to promote the APTAR property to prospective FDI and Indigenous companies, and I am encouraged to hear that 60 of the former APTAR employees have already secured internal alternative employment, and also that Harmac is going to expand its operations in Castlerea. I also expect 30 more jobs to be announced in Galway City in the next few days. In the coming months, we want to refresh the Regional Enterprise Plan for each region, including the West, to generate a pipeline of new investment, enterprise growth and economic recovery, in line with the objectives of the forthcoming National Economic Plan. And I've asked the West Regional Committee to begin this work. I was encouraged to hear that the Western Development Commission will provide a programme manager, who I met with the other day, on an interim basis, and is now actively working with the 4 local authorities in the region to put a longer-term arrangement in place for the development and implementation of a new regional enterprise plan for the West.
Thank you, Tánaiste, for your response. Can I bring you back to your comments of last Friday after the meeting, when you specifically referenced the IDA lands in Ballinasloe? Now, there are 50 acres of land available there. Can I ask you specifically 2 questions? One, that the IDA would acquire those lands which are currently in the ownership of the HSE. Secondly, that the IDA would build an advanced factory on those 50 acres of land, rather than relying on the local community to try and fundraise to build an advanced factory there. And thirdly, Tánaiste, will you direct the IDA to develop a unique marketing strategy for that 50-acre campus, which is unique in terms of the infrastructure available and the capacity that's there in terms of development land? There isn't another site like this in the country, and it needs to be marketed both nationally and internationally by the IDA.
Thanks, Deputy. As you'll know, in relation to the APTAR site, the IDA is going to market that to alternative investors. In relation to the 50 acres, I think the Deputy is correct. That is a valuable piece of land, can be developed for industry and employment. Ballinasloe has a lot of assets, including good transport links. In relation to the HSE lands, I'd have to talk to the IDA about that. The IDA does act autonomously, and as a minister, I'm always cautious about getting involved in land deals or land transactions or commercial transactions in any way, though I do appreciate this will be 2 public bodies, but I'll certainly speak to the CEO of the IDA about that. In terms of advanced factories, or advanced building solutions, as the IDA likes to call them, these have been a real success down the years. People often complain that the IDA doesn't do enough site visits in their area, but you have to have something to show somebody, and an advanced building solution is that. 11 have been built, 7 are now occupied, and as part of the IDA strategy, which we'll approve in January, we propose to build more of those around the country, but I can't give the locations today.
Tánaiste, I'll bring you back again to your comments last Friday. You yourself stated on the local radio station that there was 50-acre site there that was underutilised. That is not in the ownership of the IDA. Will you ask the IDA to acquire the ownership of that and to market it? Secondly, Minister Tánaiste, can I welcome the fact that we're going to have a new regional enterprise plan. But can I suggest to you that both Roscommon and East Galway would form part of the Midland enterprise strategy, seeing as Athlone is designated as a growth centre, seeing as we're going to have seen the closure last week of Shannon Bridge Power Station, tomorrow of Lanesborough Power Station. If we're talking about a just transition across the Midlands, surely all of the local authorities and all of the communities impacted should be part of a single regional enterprise strategy.
Thanks, Deputy. We don't have any plans to change the IDA regions. No matter where you draw these boundaries, you'll always find people who argue they should be somewhere else, and there are merits and demerits. But we think including East Galway and Roscommon in the west rather than the Midlands makes the most sense. But I take the point that he's making about Athlone as a designated regional growth centre in Project Ireland 2040. Yes, I will ask the IDA to examine those HSE lands to see whether they're appropriate for acquisition. And I am told that the IDA continues to market the available lands on the IDA Business and Technology Park in Ballinasloe to potential investors, including the advanced planning permission for an advanced technology unit on these lands, which is adjacent to Aptar.